Scene of tragedy. The burnt-out shell of the crashed fire tanker, the American firefighting heroes killed in the explosion, and the international search for answers as to what went wrong. A Sydney fire crew escaped a terrifying truck rollover, and tonight another victim of the relentless bushfires crisis. Fierce winds, red rain, destructive hail, Sydney's wild summer, and more to come. A serial fraudster jailed for scamming drought-hit farmers. The heart-stopping pictures of a toddler opening a pool gate. The Hunter Valley wine industry, a major write-off with major crop damage. And Ash Barty continues her wins, but the legendary Serena Williams is knocked out.
This is 7 News with Chris Reason.
Good evening. They were dedicated professionals killed when their water bombing plane crashed in what's now being called the state's darkest summer ever. They were Flight Engineer Rick De Morgan, First Officer Paul Hudson and Captain Ian Macbeth, honoured with a moment of silence by their international firefighting family. A highly experienced crew from the United States who gave up time with their loved ones to protect ours.
You can hear the strength of the wind. The smell of burning jet fuel is overpowering, but it's what you see that breaks your heart. The tail of a once majestic C-130 Hercules jutting from the charred landscape, smoke billowing from the fuselage, ironically igniting a fire at Peakview in southern New South Wales.
Fire comms, message read, click your captain, message read. Flight crashed, huh?
Highly experienced, specifically trained, dedicated professionals.
Canadian company Colson Aviation paid tribute to its 3 men on board, all former military. Florida flight engineer Rick De Morgan, 43, from his sister today. To most, the sky was the limit. To them, it was home, rest in the arms of angels. First Officer Paul Hudson from Arizona, 42, a decorated former Marine of 20 years' experience and married. And Captain Ian Macbeth from Montana, 44. He's flown C-130s his entire career. His wife and children celebrated Christmas without him and now always will, because he was here helping us.
If we could just have a minute's silence.
A Canadian, a New Zealander, an Australian. It hits hard when we lose one of our own.
Grieving family will fly in from the US this weekend.
The service of their family members is not, it won't be forgotten.
And flying into Melbourne this morning, more American firefighters learning only on arrival what had happened.
Every one of us feels the sadness from yesterday.
It's a tragic loss and we really feel for those people.
Colson executives have grounded part of their fleet. They arrive in Australia tomorrow. Police, hazmat, fire and rescue and air safety investigators remain at the site. Still no definitive clues on why.
The aircraft had just released a line of fire retardant prior to the impact.
In its final moments, the water bomber was flying around 2,000 metres above sea level, only 1,000 metres above the Snowy Mountains. It picks up speed, swoops north and slows dramatically from 444 kilometres an hour to 250, now just a few hundred metres above ground. There is a sharp turn, then impact. Whether a human or mechanical error, there was simply no time to react. It could also have been freak weather created by the fire front. Parliament's flag flew at half-mast today, the news headlining in America.
Breaking news overnight, 3 Americans killed.
Tanker plane flown by Americans goes down.
With condolences offered by Vice President Mike Pence. A memorial for fallen firefighters is planned for February 23. It will include the Americans.
If your various jurisdictions need to put your hand up for assistance from us, let me promise you that we'll be there. We'll be there.
Robert Ovadia, 7 News.
Let's get more on the investigation now. Olivia Leeming is at the RFS base at Numarala. Olivia, this is going to be a complex investigation.
Well, Chris, they are dealing with a complicated site on what is still an active fire ground. Investigators here are mapping the flight path and the accident zone from the air before they interview several firefighters who witnessed this crash. Complicating matters further, debris stretches for 1 kilometre. There's no suggestion that there was any systemic fault with the plane, but they will be looking closely at those maintenance records the owners are bringing with them to Australia tomorrow. Working now too to recover the remains of those 3 men before their families land this weekend. But it will be some time before they too learn why this plane struck such a tragic end. Chris?
All right, Olivia Leeming there live for us tonight. Thank you. We want to go to some breaking news now. The death toll from the South Coast bushfires has risen tonight. We're live to Peter Fegan, standing by with the details in Moruya. Peter, what can you tell us?
Chris, some tragic news tonight. Police confirmed that this morning they found human remains in a small town southwest of Moruya. The body is yet to be formally identified, but they believe to that be of a man. This is just another blow for a region that has suffered so much. But Chris, tonight, a good news story of some firefighters that walked away relatively unharmed as their truck rolled down an embankment while they were fighting fires. 4 mates sitting in a cafe. But there's a special bond between these blokes, firefighters from Sydney on the south coast to lend a hand. But last night, the crew from Brooklyn needed help themselves. This is their Category 1 bushfire tanker after it rolled in Mogo. They were on their way to fill up when their vehicle slipped on the wet Princes Highway.
We just kind of approached the barrier and went kind of straight through it, and then things just went black and started rolling around, just like being on a washing machine.
There were 6 on board when the tanker crashed, including Luca Dahl.
Seeing everyone was a good thing, and then going up on the road and seeing everyone else there was really relieving.
Luca is fighting fires while he's on holiday from school. At just 17 years old, it's his 4th year in the service. He starts Year 12 next week as school captain of Ku-ring-gai High.
I wanted to join because it was cool and you see it and it's like, whoa.
Next to him in the truck was his old man Lars.
What did the boss think? Sign up?
Well, she's in the gate as well, so the wife's in the gate as well, so we're all in it.
Incredibly, the crew managed to walk away relatively unharmed. Call it luck, if you will, but after the truck had stopped rolling, it actually landed back on its wheels just here, meaning that all on board were able to free themselves from the wreckage. The fire they were fighting swept through the town of Moruya yesterday as temperatures soared. More homes were lost, more hearts were broken. At least 3 properties destroyed, but thousands were saved.
The wind was blowing that strong that you couldn't see. You had to sort of get out in a hurry.
While Mother Nature fuels the fires, authorities say it's humans starting them. New South Wales Police today expanding a task force to hunt down suspected arsonists.
Under Toronto, we will have 40 investigators working permanently on this investigation.
As for the crew from Sydney, they're on their way home tonight. In Moruya, Peter Fegan, 7 News.
Well, after years of drought and months of dust clouds and bushfire smoke, summer storms delivered a rare natural phenomenon overnight: red rain. That, as the Central Coast saw roofs ripped off and cars hit by trees in what locals described as a mini cyclone.
Within the space of 12 hours, New South Wales experienced nearly all the elements. Hail in Western Sydney. The entire golf course in Warren became one big bunker. Smoke then drifted in thick and heavy, causing a rare event.
Basically, low-density mud rain.
One of Sydney's shock jocks got a shock of his own. But the most damaging of all came last night when gusty winds propelled by a supercell storm front tore through the Central Coast.
It's been unusual to have a combination of dust, smoke and showers of rainfall and hail as well.
In Point Frederick, wind gusts nearing 100 kilometres an hour ripped this 3-storey unit's roof clean off. It brought down power lines and left residents totally exposed.
An elderly lady in a wheelchair on the top floor, you got people with kids on the top floor, they were all panicking.
Tyrone Cullen was driving near Ourimbah on the M1 when a huge tree crashed onto his car.
Yeah, the roof actually caved in on my head.
He escaped without a scratch. His car is a write-off.
I was kind of ducked down like that and had to wedge the door open, bash the door open.
Trees block the Old Pacific Highway between Calgary and Mount White. Thousands of homes remain without power. Some locals thought they'd been hit by a small cyclone.
Well, I don't know what a mini cyclone's like, but it hit really suddenly.
At midnight, the temperature in Sydney was 30 degrees. Early this morning, a southerly change cooled things down, but conditions were anything but clear. The storm here on the Central Coast created 180 hazards in a matter of minutes. This roof here in Point Frederick was by far the worst. Residents living on the top floor have been given temporary accommodation and they won't be back until they have a roof that stays put.
To be honest, I don't really feel safe living here anymore.
We should expect monsoonal activity to continue in the coming weeks, but with wild weather comes welcome rain, so perhaps best to suck it up. Tom Saker, 7 News.
A magistrate says jail time is the only option for a Sydney man who conned drought-affected farmers out of tens of thousands of dollars. The 27-year-old serial fraudster accepted payments for large numbers of hay bales but never delivered in what's been called a calculated attack on our nation's most vulnerable.
Nikki Lyle has been battling drought for years. Now there's bushfires. And like so many in regional Australia, she's paying top dollar to keep her animals alive.
Most people are being amazing and helping each other in this time. It was a bit of a shock to think that someone was there to take advantage.
That someone was 27-year-old Matthew Small. Arrested by rural crime investigators who've hit him with 13 counts of fraud.
You see some devastating things and low acts from people, but this has actually reached a new low.
Small used a different name, posting ads online selling feed. He asked his victims to pay transport costs up front, then disappeared.
We lost $5,400. I know one lady that paid $9,000 up front.
The reason scams work is because people take them as real and face value.
When police picked him up, there was already a warrant out for his arrest for similar offences. He pleaded guilty to all charges and wanted bail, but it was refused.
There's people who've lost a lot of money. Is there anything you want to say on his behalf?
No.
Scams targeting struggling farmers are becoming more common, but the Rural Crime Prevention Team is succeeding in tracking offenders down. The squad is larger than ever following a funding boost.
And there was a welcome boost for farmers today. The Burrumbuttock hay runners are headed north on a charity run, donating feed on Australia Day.
A hay run is 50% hay and 50% of mental health, letting someone know that they still care.
Helping others, not themselves. Small will be sentenced in March. Andrew Denny, 7 News.
2 of 4 people being tested for coronavirus in Sydney have just been given the all clear. But the rising death toll as we go to air has reached 26. In China, more than 800 cases have been detected as the disease spreads around the world.
Coronavirus ground zero, Wuhan, China, where social media shows victims collapsing in the streets and causing panic. Suspect carriers are being picked up off the floor by emergency medical teams and being transported in sealed containers after being detected at the airport. Nobody is taking any chances. In Sydney, 4 people had to be put into isolation.
All of those 4 patients have undergone testing, and we are awaiting the test results on those individuals.
Late this afternoon, 2 of the 4 were cleared, but further tests are needed on the others. The suspect patients checked themselves into 3 unnamed Sydney hospitals, and anyone who's showing symptoms who's either been to Wuhan or been in contact with someone who has is being urged to do the same thing. The most likely victims:
elderly people or people with other medical conditions.
It's a killer. 26 dead and nearly 200 gravely ill.
Should we get a positive case in Australia, we are extremely well prepared.
Mostly here at a quarantine treatment facility at Westmead. Sean Berry, 7 News.
A rescue mission has turned into a recovery operation, with police confirming the worker trapped down a Tasmanian gold mine has almost certainly died. The tragedy has rocked a small town, and authorities fear it could take years to work out what went wrong.
Visibly shaken, the boss of Tasmania's Henty Gold Mine delivered the news no one wanted to hear.
We were all hoping for the best, but unfortunately, it's gone our way.
After a partial collapse deep underground early yesterday morning, a loader and its driver fell into a huge hole. A 3D thermal imaging drone has revealed the machine is now all but buried under rocks.
Unfortunately, due to the images that we've received with the amount of debris that has fallen into that scene, we now think it's highly unlikely that our missing miner has survived.
He lived nearby in the close-knit community of Queenstown, where his family has been kept informed.
It is a hazardous and precarious industry. It's a hazardous job, and the pay and conditions reflects that because it is dangerous work.
The focus now turns to recovery, but the site is still so unstable, so dangerous that mine bosses aren't even sure yet how they'll conduct the operation. The recovery could take weeks. Until then, the mine will remain closed while the search for answers begins. In Queenstown, Tasmania, Laurel Irving, 7 News.
The National Party leader has again thrown his support behind the embattled Deputy Bridget McKenzie, despite calls for her to step aside. Michael McCormack says speculation that some within his own party want her to resign is untrue, saying he'll wait for the investigation to run its course.
I'm not going to be judge and jury. I'm going to let process take its course. That's the only right thing to do. In any situation in Australia, people are always innocent until proven otherwise.
Prime Minister Scott Morrison says he'll take appropriate action when the report is handed down. A huge shake-up has been announced for James Packer's Crown Casino. Former Liberal Senator Helen Coonan has been appointed chairman, with John Alexander stepping aside. The shock reshuffle comes just days after an unprecedented state government inquiry into the casino giant began here in Sydney. The first of Harvey Weinstein's accusers has taken the stand in the disgraced movie mogul's rape trial. Actress Annabella Sciorra describing in chilling detail the night she says he attacked her in her home.
A star of The Sopranos, today Annabella Sciorra's role was witness, fighting back tears as she told the court Harvey Weinstein raped her in the 1990s, barging into her apartment, dragging her into the bedroom. He shoved me on the bed, I was punching him, I was kicking him, he got on top of me and he raped me. And that when she confronted Weinstein about it weeks later, he told her, "This remains between you and I." She said, "I thought he was going to hit me right there." The 59-year-old emotional as she testified about withdrawing from family and friends. She began drinking and started harming herself. But the defence questioned her lack of memory on details, asking why she didn't call for help or run. Sciorra admitted she didn't go to police or a doctor, saying she didn't know that was rape.
During this trial, a total of 6 women are expected to testify that they were sexually assaulted by Harvey Weinstein, as the prosecution seeks to prove a pattern of predatory behaviour stretching back decades.
Sciorra's case happened too long ago to prosecute, but her lawyer says her testimony helps prove the most serious offences.
He could be sentenced to life in prison.
Allegations continue to surface. In new audio not connected to the trial, Weinstein is offering a model a massage after she says no.
I give you my word, if you don't trust me, then we have no reason to do anything, and you will lose big opportunities.
Back at court, his legal team argues ongoing relationships show his accuser's claims make no sense.
Are you confident of an acquittal at this stage?
I am never confident of an acquittal.
In New York, Paul Karak, 7 News.
Time to get a check of the weather now with Sally Bowery. Sally, there are severe storms brewing once again.
Yeah, that's right, Chris. There is a warning out tonight for more wild weather, but those storms will stay well north of Sydney for now. Today, the wild weather came in from the Blue Mountains and we will see more showers develop there this weekend. So over the next 24 hours, it is possible we will see our best falls in our west. After a wild morning, there was a touch more wet weather this afternoon. Bellambi picked up a further 12 millimetres, Bankstown 4, washing away some of that dust. Now, air quality should also start to improve tonight. Winds have more swung around to the southeast, so they're coming off the water rather than over that dusty land. Right now, though, it is 26 degrees at Bondi, 29 degrees at Penrith, and there is a chance we could see some severe storms return to Sydney across our long weekend, but I'll have those full details a little later.
All right, talk then. Thank you, Sally. Now, you may think a pool fence will keep your kids safe this summer, but watch this. An Aussie mum's terrifying video that shocked parents around the world. That is next. Also, the bizarre arrest at Bondi that left beachgoers scratching their heads. Later, dire warnings for this year's wine crop, why the Hunter Valley is feeling the heat. Older but not forgotten, we name the industries desperately seeking mature workers. And soon, in sport, our rising stars of cricket win a thriller against the old enemy.
7 News, brought to you by Officeworks.
Oh, you'll need these for your geography project.
Dad, I'm going to do a PowerPoint presentation.
Yeah.
School's changed, but the smarter place to shop for back to school is still Officeworks.
Oh, this is going to be good.
Just everything you want in a dish in MKR.
All new My Kitchen Rules starts Sunday, Feb 2 on 7.
When it comes to family, what's normal? Families come in all shapes and sizes, but it's mealtimes that bring us together. Ah, McCain, you've done it again.
Viking, the thinking person's cruise, with no kids and no casinos.
Viking's Explorer sale now on. Save up to $4,000 per couple. Call 138747 or see your Viking travel agent.
The Nick Scali January sale ends Monday. Save on a huge range of quality furniture for every room of your home. The Nick Scali January sale ends Monday.
Get excited for the new Medical Variety series.
The Cosmetic Surgery Show.
Featuring celebrity surgeries.
Dr. Lanza.
I'm just a fat.
I've got him.
Brazilian butt lifts. Man boobs. Cosmetic six packs.
This is not a shark fight. This is a bad liposuction.
And heartwarming drama. The Cosmetic Surgery Show with Dr. Daniel Lanza.
One of them come out looking like Brad Pitt.
An all-new series on 7.
Terry Shear, Australia's leading landlord insurance specialist, can protect your property and rental income from just $1 a day.
My property portfolio is protected by Terry Shear. I wouldn't trust anyone else.
Call Terry Shear or go online.
Seresto provides 8 months of protection from ticks and fleas, so your cat can enjoy 8 months of tenderness. Seresto, the longest lasting tick and flea protection for cats. For 8 months of love.
MyWW, your new customised weight loss program. Just answer a few questions and get matched to your plan.
I lost weight my way and kept it off with MyWW.
See how new MyWW can make losing weight easier for you.
Low GI for longer lasting energy. Wonder Active. Play on.
An urgent warning for parents tonight about the dangers of relying on a pool fence to protect children from drowning. An Australian mum has posted a video proving that a fence is no match for a determined child.
It's the clip that's terrified parents all over the world. 3-year-old Isaiah has been told he can't have a swim, but he's determined to get into that pool.
Mum, I'll show you.
The clever toddler wheels his toy car up to the fence and climbs onto the roof. What happens next is shocking. Isaiah opens the latch, swings the gate open, and within seconds, he and his baby sister are poolside.
Bit of a cry that day and just hugged my children a bit tighter that night. I was like, wow, I could have lost them.
Crystal's video has been viewed more than 1.5 million times, and she's been inundated with messages from parents, including those who've lost children to drownings.
It's shown me that you can't rely on a pool fence. I think a lot of parents have the false sense of security that because the fence is there, they're not going to drown, they're not going to get into the pool area. But that took him less than a minute to get over that fence. And I mean, you could be doing anything in that time.
You could have been doing the washing.
Exactly.
Of all the toddler drownings in Australia, 70% happen in backyard swimming pools.
We are in the peak period for drowning over the next few months, so it's a really timely reminder of people, and particularly parents that have young children, to be extra vigilant when it comes to safety around the water.
There are other options to stop kids getting access to the pool, but ultimately nothing beats supervision. Sally Bowery, 7 News.
A man accused of harassing women at Bondi Beach has been arrested after a bizarre standoff with police. The 38-year-old suspect ran into the water when approached by officers perching on a rock for 2 hours. He was eventually apprehended after a police helicopter, water patrols and lifeguards became involved. He's been granted conditional bail and will face court in March. A tanker truck has spectacularly exploded in Peru. A broken valve leaked gas which ignited in a ball of flames, killing 2 people and leaving almost 50 others hurt, many of them with critical burns. As many as a dozen of the injured are children. Flames spread quickly, burning 14 homes. Locals raced to help fire crews bring it under control. The Peruvian president has called the scene a tragedy. After rounds of debate and delay, Boris Johnson's Brexit deal is officially law, receiving royal assent from the Queen. All that remains now is for the European Union to approve the divorce. It's expected to do so next week, passing in time for an exit at 11 p.m. local time on January 31st. World number 1 Ash Barty is through to the 4th round, and one of her main threats has been eliminated at the Australian Open. Jim Wilson is here, and Jim, good news for the Aussie, but not Serena Williams.
Contrasting fortunes, Rizzo. Good evening to you. Evening, everyone. Ash Barty was in cruise control and is through to the last 16, but 23-time Grand Slam singles champion Serena Williams is out after a shock exit at the Open. All the highlights shortly in sport, and what upset Ash post-match, and Nick Kyrgios will tell you very shortly. Also, we'll chat to the ball girl who was on the receiving end of a Rafa forehand and his act of goodwill afterwards. And we'll bring you the highlights of a thrilling win by Australia at the Under-19 World Cup that ended England's campaign. Last ball against the old enemy. You couldn't have scripted it much better.
Good stuff. Looking forward to it. Thank you, Jim. Now, it was a shocking attack on a police officer that almost cost him his life. Next up, the incredible body cam showing the machete ambush as his attacker learns his fate. Also, flash flooding, 600 workers evacuated from a North Sydney office block. Australia Day countdown, what's happening near you this long weekend, and how Sydney Zoo is working to save the wildlife that survived the summer inferno. That is next.
Every final and the grand final is live, free and in HD. Direct hit on 7.
She wins. Oh, what a catch. You ask and he delivers. Look at the crowd.
The Big Bash finals are coming to 7.
Isn't it funny how different our kids are? The way they do things their own way and have different tastes. Luckily, Tip Top has a range of bread that has all the fibre, vitamins and minerals they need in white, wholemeal and kids' grains. Tip Top the one for everyone.
Hurry into Priceline Pharmacy and save a massive 40% on the Hawaiian Tropic Self-Tanning range. That's 40% off Hawaiian Tropic Self-Tan, including the 1-hour express foam for a gorgeous glow in minutes. For great savings, there's no place like Priceline.
The Nick Scali January sale ends Monday. Save on a huge range of quality furniture for every room of your home. The Nick Scali January sale ends Monday.
What are we doing this weekend?
Just the usual.
All gazebos by Spinifex, half price. All sports footwear by Adidas, Nike and Asics, $59.
Anaconda!
I'm Rebel Wilson, self-appointed Minister for Words, and I'm here to make words great again with Audible. Words are being abused, neglected. Australia deserves better.
The Good Guys Big Deal Days are on now. Get this Bosch dishwasher for only $5.95. This Dyson vacuum only $3.99. This Samsung soundbar $4.95. And up to 20% off Dell computers and monitors. Pay less every day only at The Good Guys.
Save up to 10% on your first year's premium when you get a new Allianz home insurance policy online.
Okay, done.
Get that Allianz feeling. Search for a quote today.
Around 600 people were evacuated from a North Sydney office block today after a nearby water main burst, turning the street into a river and flooding the building's basement. Electricity has been shut off and Sydney water officials are working to drain that blockage. Now, final preparations are right now underway ahead of the weekend's Australia Day celebrations, but there's been a change of plans for some festivities, with fireworks displays cancelled in light of the bushfire crisis.
As the stage is set for Australia Day's main event, so is the table just up the road.
Welcome to Government House.
Open to the public with a taste of history on offer.
Looking at the coat of arms.
Many taking a moment to look back.
It's probably just a nice time for everyone to be very reflective too.
Look out for each other, appreciate the fact that the community is in mourning for so many reasons at the moment.
Law enforcement gearing up to cope with bumper crowds.
We have a high visibility police operation being conducted on Sunday.
In the city and in the suburbs, there are plenty of ways to commemorate and celebrate. At Barangaroo, there's a traditional smoking ceremony. Head to the Rocks for an all-day street party. In our west, local Campbelltown swimming centres will be making a splash. Head to Blacktown Council's Australia Day concert at Rooty Hill. Parramatta Park launching Australia's biggest hot air balloon display.
Many, of course, keen to find the perfect spot to view the fireworks, but this year some shows have been called off in a nod to the ongoing bushfire crisis.
Parramatta, one of several councils that have cancelled fireworks, some donating to the RFS instead. Digging deep, the Aussie way.
Here outside the Opera House, dress rehearsals for the Australia Day Live Spectacular have just kicked off. Just over there, the Sydney Symphony Orchestra about to give us a taste of what's to come on a stage which will be watched by not only thousands here but right across the country. Other headline acts include Vanessa Amorosi, John Williamson and X Factor star Isaiah Firebrace. We're told it will be a show of spirit and strength in what's been a very tough time, Chris.
Absolutely. Hoping the rain holds off. Thank you, Serena. Now, King's Cross identity Adam Freeman has been charged with drug offences in the CBD. Police arrested the son of late underworld figure George Freeman during an operation targeting suspected drug supply. The 37-year-old has been charged with possession of a prohibited drug and a prescribed restricted substance. An investigation is underway into a fire at a chemical factory in Western Sydney. 39 fire crews and hazmat teams raced to the scene at Kings Park yesterday evening over fears flames could cause chemicals to explode, endangering nearby properties. The blaze took firefighters around 14 hours to extinguish. A handyman has been convicted of a shocking attack on a policeman. The bloody confrontation all caught on camera. Video was released today of what should have been a simple stop, but inside the car was a driver with a criminal record and a machete.
This was a routine traffic stop.
Is it your vehicle? I don't think you got any insurance in your vehicle.
But within minutes, things became heated. There's a struggle as officers try to arrest handyman Mohammed Rodwan.
Stop fighting, stop resisting.
Then panic as he pulls out a recently sharpened machete. PC Stuart Outen is attacked. Passers-by are filming from the other side of the van. Before Rodwan is brought down by a taser, fired twice by the officer under attack, who then manages to hold him down before he's dragged away. And the bystanders have to step in and help.
You're right.
Welcome to court. Hey, for this radio.
I need an ambulance now. I've been stabbed in my
For 999. I'm trying.
My thought process was, I need to stop him. I need to stop him or he will kill me.
The incident happened in August last year. Mohammed Rodwan was previously convicted of another machete attack and rape. Today, he was found guilty of wounding with intent. The police union here believes Rodwan got off lightly and instead should have been convicted of attempted murder. PC Arden is set to return to frontline duty. His attacker is awaiting sentencing. In London, Hugh Whitfield, 7 News.
Environmentalists fear the koalas that have survived bushfires could now die from dehydration and starvation, which is why the new Sydney Zoo is helping to install water stations on the edge of burnt-out areas in the Blue Mountains.
These pictures of thirsty and disoriented little bushfire survivors have gone viral around the world.
The moisture in the environment is very, very low at the moment, so there is a current requirement to stop animals from dehydrating and dying.
Sydney's Blue Mountains is home to some of the most culturally diverse koalas, but 80% of the World Heritage listed park has been razed in recent months, which is why Sydney Zoo is helping set up 60 water stations on the edge of burnt-out areas.
There's a platform for koalas and gliders and species that live up trees. They can detect water from about 1 kilometre away, so we're expecting these water stations to draw in quite a lot of wildlife.
Cameras with night vision, like this one in regional New South Wales, will monitor all the different critters coming for a drink.
There's a trough on the ground as well, which will benefit kangaroos and wallabies and wombats.
Programs like this are more important now than ever before. There used to be some 3 to 4 million koalas. Now conservationists believe there could be as little as 300,000 left.
We're trying to lower the post-event death toll.
Volunteers are needed to check the water stations in coming weeks. Visit our website for how you can help. Jessica Ridley, 7 News.
Well, they've devastated communities across the state. Now the bushfires have claimed another casualty. Next, why Hunter Valley winemakers are virtually writing off this year's crop. Also, the industries where age is no barrier to success, particularly if you're older. Welcoming in the year of the rat with the traditional plucking of the greens.
And Sydney will be spared storms tonight. I'll tell you when they'll come back soon.
Come with us for a very special night.
They started off as just a seed of an idea and grew into some of the world's most spectacular gardens.
Tonight, bring it all back home.
Which idea will you plant?
It's just like purple rain takes your breath away.
Better Homes, Gardens of the World. Tonight on 7/2.
MyWW, your new customised weight loss program. Just answer a few questions and get matched to a proven plan that fits your life. How often do you eat bread? What about dairy? How active are you?
I lost weight my way and kept it off with MyWW.
See how new MyWW can make losing weight easier. Join today and get 3 months free.
If you're a GIO customer and your home or car have been impacted by the bushfires, we're here to help. You can make a claim with us 24/7 by calling 13 10 10 or by visiting gio.com.au. And don't worry, you don't need your policy documents to claim. We can also assist with emergency funds and accommodation if your home has been damaged. Most importantly, please stay safe and look out for bushfire updates from your local authority.
I'll take it.
Sell where the buyers are. Gumtree Cars. Long live local.
I drive a lot. I build stuff, pull things, push things, and I hit things. And then I carry stuff.
What do you do again?
I drive a Hilux.
Now including Toyota's Safety Sense package as standard. Oh, what a feeling. Toyota.
The Nick Scali January sale ends Monday. Save on a huge range of quality furniture for every room of your home. The Nick Scali January sale ends Monday.
Domino's
This war on delivery charges just got bigger because our $15 delivered deal now includes our vegan and plant-based pizzas. Any large pizza, just $15 delivered.
Aussie kids, are we big kids? Aussie kids, are we big kids? Aussie kids, are we big kids?
Dave was very clear how he wanted today to be, and here we are. It's exactly as planned, thanks to White Lady Funerals.
Planning and prepaying your funeral with White Lady helps your family to respect your wishes.
The share market ended the week 2.5 points up, continuing January's run of highs. Crown Resorts ended the day 3 cents down after that announcement of a new executive chair. And one Australian dollar is buying 68.42 US cents. Sydney's fuel prices have been steadily tracking lower this week. The average is $1.44.6. We've found regular unleaded as low as $1.29.9 at Arndell Park. There are fresh sun safety warnings tonight as experts fear the bushfire haze is making people complacent. Startling new statistics show a record number of children under 10 in some parts of the country are requiring emergency treatment for serious sunburn. Sun safety experts are warning everyone to keep checking UV ratings over the Australia Day long weekend. Renowned Sydney chef Tony Bilson has died aged 76. The restaurateur was known for founding Sydney venues like Von Gout and Kinsella's. He also opened the Barara Waters Inn on the Hawkesbury River in the mid-70s. Often referred to as the godfather of Australian cuisine, he's being remembered today as one of the greats. While smoke from the bushfires has caused plenty of irritation in Sydney, its effects in the Hunter Valley have been devastating. Some of the region's biggest wine labels are preparing to mulch entire vineyards left with smoke-tainted grapes.
They're ripe for the picking, but not for drinking.
You go down and taste those grapes. Taste great. They really do, but in 3 years' time, they could taste completely different, taste awful.
Testing has found at least 80% of grapes at Tyrrell's vineyards in the Hunter Valley are smoke-tainted, crippling the 2020 vintage. This year, the label's flagship VAT 1 Semillon and VAT 9 Shiraz, among others, won't be produced. Tainted fruit can still be used to make wine, but as you might expect, the taste will be smoky and ashy, significantly reducing the quality of the product. Rather than risk damage to the winery's reputation, this fruit will be fed to cattle or left on the ground as mulch. Tulloch Wines won't be able to use any of its red wine grapes.
It hurts a lot. It will hurt to the tune of about $2 million.
Bruce Tyrrell believes grape growers should be eligible for bushfire relief grants, currently only available to fire, not smoke-affected primary producers.
Support for those grape growers is going to be pretty important because you can't live without the income.
But not all vineyards in the Hunter have been affected.
There will still be some great wines from 2020, so really support those people who have been able to pick some fruit.
Be warned though, with production down, prices will go up. In Pecolbin, Alex Hart, 7 News.
Hundreds have flocked to Sydney's World Square for lunar New Year's Eve celebrations. Businesses leaving out heads of lettuce for dancing lions, hoping it will help bring luck and good fortune for the year ahead. The Year of the Rat marks the start of the 12-year lunar calendar cycle. Thousands of Australian jobs are right now on offer, but there's a catch. Prospective employees are preferred to be over 60. Soon, where they're being offered and why. Don't miss that story. Up soon on 7 News. But first, Jim's back with sport, and what a win by our rising stars in cricket.
It was extraordinary, Rezo. Coming up, the youngster who got us home and a nail-biter against England. Also, a coach in the Big Bash has just been fined for joking on a broadcast. Plus, highlights of Day 5 at the Open, shock results, Aussie victories, and Ash Barty holds court post-match. And another of our star Matildas is on the move overseas, while the Reds continue their dominant march in the EPL. That's next.
Will you marry me?
You haven't been completely honest.
I know!
You tell her what really happened.
Marriage is being able to say what's mine is yours, and what's yours is mine.
New Gold Digger, only on 7.
With Allianz Comprehensive Car Insurance, we guarantee all the repairs we authorise.
Hey, good to go.
Thanks.
Get that Allianz feeling. Search for a quote today.
Heads up, it's Aussie Open time. And with Sportsbet, if your player leads by 4 games in any set, we'll pay you out straight away. That's right, any set, 4 games up, you win. Only with Sportsbet.
Wherever you're spending summer, Woolworths is delivering all the essentials, including your favourite ice cream.
That's why I pick Woolies.
Come on, smile. Imagine me and you, and you. I think about you day and night. There's only one.
Everything you need to get them out the door and back to school. Big W. Every day's a big day.
Oh, bog day.
It's parked.
We've got a...
Parked!
The powerful Amarok V6 Canyon, now with a 1.99% annual rate.
Helen lost 30 kilos with Fat Blaster. James lost a massive 50 kilos. And now it's your turn. Simply download the free Fat Blaster app and start your weight loss journey today with Fat Blaster.
If you don't get there in time, we will lose 1,600 men.
1917.
Good luck.
It's time to see the world in 2020 with Scenic. Book a 15-day luxury Europe River cruise and fly for 125. See your Scenic agent or call 138 128 today.
The wait is over for the race where you vote to win a share in $500,000.
They're racing in the All-Star Mile.
The wait is over for the race where you choose the horses who run. The wait is over for the richest mile race in the world. The wait is over. Your All-Star Mile is back. This March at Caulfield Racecourse. The All-Star Mile. Your star awaits. Vote now at allstarmile.com.au.
This Sports Report brought to you by the All-Star Mile. Voting now open.
Welcome back, everyone. Ash Barty's Australian Open campaign received an added bonus today with the legendary Serena Williams knocked out in the 3rd round. Now, Ash won in straight sets and will face American Alison Riske in the 4th round, while Serena lost in 3 sets. Novak Djokovic is into the last 16.
From the party started early today. Aussie Ash against 20-year-old rising star Elena Rybakina. The world #1 is getting better every day.
Oh, what a point.
6-3, 6-2. Barty's through to the last 16 and holding court everywhere.
My expectations are rising?
No, everyone's expectations
Yours are?
Yeah.
Well, I don't care about yours, so it's all good. I'm fine.
Serena Williams needed all her might just to force a 3rd set against China's 28-year-old Wang Qiang. But for 2 hours and 41 minutes, Wang stood firm. Margaret Court's Grand Slam record survives again. Serena stays stranded on 23, past 3 years.
Are you going to allow yourself a little celebration tonight?
No.
Last night, Nick Kyrgios had French veteran Gilles Simon at his mercy.
It is a beautiful thing to watch the way he's playing.
Then, the dreaded Kyrgios mood swing. He threw a set away, vented at Leighton Hewitt and his team.
Thanks, man. Thanks.
I was being a bit of a to them, and I apologised as soon as I went back into the locker room.
He snapped out of it to reach the 3rd round.
I told myself, just, cut the and just get to work.
Both Kyrgios and Simon protested time-wasting violations by mimicking Rafael Nadal's routine.
I don't care at all, no. If it was funny, good, that's it.
A Kyrgios-Nadal showdown looms. Rafa took out a ball girl in the crossfire. 13-year-old Anita Birchall didn't flinch. Rafa apologised with a kiss on the cheek. And all is forgiven.
I was very touched by his kindness and, yeah, it was quite amazing.
Matt Carmichael, 7 News.
Well done, Anita. Australia is through to the quarterfinals of the Under-19 Cricket World Cup in South Africa after a thrilling last ball win over England. Chasing 253, the Aussies needed 40 runs from the final 3 overs before fast bowler Connor Sully, batting at number 9, smashed an unbeaten 35 to seal the win on the final delivery.
Lovely shot. This has been a superb victory, courtesy Sully and Murphy.
Incredible finish. Australia will play either New Zealand or India in the quarterfinals. The Sydney Sixers are still on a high after thrashing the Brisbane Heat by 8 wickets at the Gabba last night. Marnus Labuschagne fell for 3 as the Heat struggled to 8 for 128. Now, Steve Smith made just 9 in his first Big Bash outing in 6 years. James Vince and Josh Philippe both smashed half centuries to get the Sixers home with 25 balls remaining to claim their second straight victory. Now, news just in, Melbourne Stars coach David Hussey has been fined $2,000 for joking about wearing spikes to the pre-game pitch inspection. Cricket Australia says it wasn't in the spirit of the game. The Sixers' big win over the Heat sees them reclaim second spot on the Big Bash ladder with 1 home game remaining. The top 5 teams qualify for the finals. Looking forward to this tonight. The Sydney Thunder take on the Hurricanes in Hobart before the Perth Scorchers play host to the Adelaide Strikers at Optus Stadium in Perth. Both games live and free right after 7 News. Matilda's midfielder Chloe Laguzzo is the latest Aussie to join the FA Women's Super League. Laguzzo will make the switch from Sydney FC to Bristol City once the qualification matches for the Tokyo 2020 Olympics are over.
I think for me it was definitely just the best possible move for me in the lead up to the Olympics. I think that's one of my biggest goals, especially in this year.
Like Sam Kerr, she's a superstar. Laguzzo has spent the past 6.5 seasons with the Sky Blues. Liverpool extended their lead in the Premier League to 16 points after a 2-1 win over Wolverhampton. With scores locked at 1-1, Roberto Firmino stepped up to seal the Reds' 14th straight victory.
Firmino, you cannot write them off at any stage.
The win was soured by a hamstring injury, though, to striker Sadio Mane. The Kookaburras and Hockeyroos road to Tokyo steps up tomorrow when they open their Hockey Pro League campaign against Belgium. It's the first match of the year for both of the Aussie sides, who have high hopes in 2020.
We're hoping for big things later on in the year, but we know a consistency is what we're after.
It gives us a great opportunity to assess the players, to assess our team against all the top sides.
Currently ranked number 1 in the world, the mighty Kookaburras. The 2 teams will meet again on Sunday. Australia's snowboarding superstar Scotty James went to Aspen and completed total domination of the X Games Superpipe event today. He led from his opening run and claimed his 10th straight victory at world level.
This is absolutely silly. Is there something higher than first place?
Love the commentary. James hasn't lost since the 2018 Winter Olympics. It's his 2nd straight X Games gold. 3rd overall, 2nd only to American legend Shaun White. He was our flag bearer in Pyeongchang in 2018. Well done, Scotty. Tiger Woods, our first appearance for 2020. Have a look at this. He's 3 shots adrift in San Diego Torrey Pines. Pretty red hot with the putter. Have a look at his cheer squad, though, everyone. They came fancy dress. He's got some, look at him. It's like The Hangover. Have a look at them. They've dressed up. And look at Tiger's face, Rezo. He's just going, what are you guys doing?
It's doing.
That's a lot of fun.
Well done.
Bit of fancy dress on this Friday night.
Good fun too. Thanks, Jimmy. Well done.
Rezo.
Now, we are being told we need to work later in life to bolster the economy and our super accounts. But what if you're a senior who can't get a job? An increasing number of older Australians are asking for help because they can't convince employers to give them a chance.
Every morning, Jenny Bald gets to work looking for a job. Eager applicant has been her only position in 12 months. Jenny had been at the same company for 17 years when it closed. She's unexpectedly unemployed at 62.
I'm not needed. I'm not wanted out there because I'm over a certain age. A number. I'm defined by a number.
She's far from alone.
We're certainly hearing is that people
as young as 40 are in fact finding it difficult to compete in the marketplace.
And the number of mature age job seekers will grow as the pension age is pushed back from 65.5 now to 67 in 2023. But there is support. Registering as a job seeker through Centrelink gives you access to support services near you. The federally funded Career Transition Assistance Program is free.
Which is specifically designed for candidates over the age of 45.
Government data shows employers value communication, teamwork and planning skills almost as much as technical abilities. The advice is to try growth industries such as health or where face-to-face contact is valued. Jenny wants employers to see age is an asset.
We've got so much to offer.
Laura Dimmick, 7 News.
Well, severe storms are firing up again tonight. Sally, will they hit Sydney?
Well, Chris, they should stay just north of Sydney tonight, but there could be some storms across the long weekend. I'll have the forecast next.
I don't think I've ever seen this before. We're looking for the best pet stylist in the whole country. Release the hounds! Time's moving so quickly. I'm moving slowly, though. Music sensation, Sia! Justin Bieber, beautiful lion. This is the start of something big. Who's perfect?
Catch a head-to-head early payout in the Big Bash with Ladbrokes. If your team makes 55 runs or takes 3 wickets in the first 6 overs of the match, get paid out early. Ladbrokes. Back yourself.
At Optimum, we believe there's nothing better than being free to spend time with your dog. Optimum. Share the freedom.
Hurry! A Mason summer deal ends soon. Get unlimited mobile data for just $40 for your first 3 renewals. From then on, get an epic 60 gigs each time you renew. Be quick, this deal ends 31st of Jan.
It's Holden's 2019 plate clearance with 7 years free scheduled servicing.
Free? As in free?
100% totally free? Free?
Free, as in free as a birth free.
Yep, and it's across our Holden range. With Holden, you got this.
At McCafe, we know some things just work better together. So we've combined our delicious McCafe coffee with our iconic thick shake. For the best of both worlds, try the real coffee shake, only at McCafe.
It's JB Hi-Fi's Big Brand Sale with prices smashed store-wide. A whopping 20% off computers. That's 20% off. 10% off Apple Mac computers. And prices smashed on Microsoft servers. Plus a massive 30% off Blu-ray DVDs and box sets. That's 30% off. JB, you've done it again.
It's my dad, sir. He did nothing wrong.
Sit down, young man.
You killed my family!
I know you didn't kill Rhonda Morrison. Your life is still meaningful, and I'm gonna do everything to keep them from taking it.
Is that a rock? Is it a pebble? Well, believe it or not, it's a stone. Did you know they crack over 1 million windscreens a year in Australia? And if one flew up and cracked yours, you'd be covered with no excess. If you had GIO Platinum car insurance, of course. Sometimes it's good to know the details you know with GIO.
To support Parramatta's Australia Day celebrations.
Tonight's 7 News headlines. Human remains have been found in a bushfire zone near Moruya on the south coast. The 3 Americans who died in a bushfire bomber crash are being remembered as heroes tonight. And 2 of 4 people being tested for coronavirus in Sydney have been given the all clear. Now, here's Sally with Sydney's weather.
Thank you, Chris. Well, we've seen our fair share of wild weather today with thunderstorms, hail and 30,000 lightning strikes over the city in just a few hours. Tonight there is a severe storm warning current, but it is north of Sydney. Today we reached a top of 27 degrees in the city after a fairly warm and balmy night. 23 was the coolest, and it was seen 1 minute before 9 a.m. Across the suburbs, temperatures hovered in the high 20s for most. We saw a burst of showers just sweep through as well, hitting Campbelltown and Bankstown this afternoon. From the satellite, those severe storms are pretty apparent. That is under that band of cloud just sitting to the northeast of our state tonight. An area of severe weather is expected from Taree inland all the way to Walgett, where we're likely to see hail and flooding rains. Scone saw a wind gust up to 96 kilometres an hour this afternoon. Now, as winds swing more around to the southeast over the weekend, we should start to see a slight improvement in air quality. Today it was well above the hazardous level in Sydney's southwest. Tomorrow a broad trough will also bring more showers and storms just into that northeastern corner of New South Wales, and very hot, dry conditions starting to build in behind it for the rest of the country. Around the nation for the start of the Australia Day weekend. Brisbane, a few showers. Melbourne should be mostly sunny, 26 degrees. Cloud clearing in Adelaide, and sunny and 34 degrees in Perth. On the water tomorrow, we can expect southwesterly winds around 30 knots. If you're going for a bit of a swim, it'll be 20 degrees in the water. Around the state tomorrow, sunny skies are expected mostly through the west, and the bulk of the wet weather will be with those showers and storms just to the northeast of the state. Looking at Sydney's suburbs, 25 degrees is expected at Manly tomorrow, 29 degrees at Hurstville, and a top of 31 degrees in the west at Penrith. Now, the city will reach a top of 27 with a possible light shower, although it looks like we'll still have a bit of smoke haze lingering in our skies too. Looking further ahead, we could see storms fire up once again on Sunday. 30 degrees in the city there. Heaviest rainfall is expected in our west, up to 8 millimetres. It should be fine for the start of holiday Monday. 29 degrees in the city and a top of 35 degrees in the west. We will take any rain we can get to wash away some of this dust, because my car looks appalling.
Sally, good on you. Many thanks tonight. Now that is 7 News for this Friday. We'll have updates for you throughout the evening. I'm Chris Reason. From all of us here, thanks for your company and have a great night.